So this is the LG Gram 16. Alright, now I already did an unboxing video for this laptop, so if you want to check that out, I'll put a link to that in the video description below. So last year when LG released the Gram series, they only had it in 14, 15 and 17. Now they've added the 16-inch, so this is the one that I'm going to review, but let's very quickly go through the specs. So the LG Gram 16 comes with Intel's 11th gen mobile CPU, alright? So this one is specifically the i7-1165G7. Now this also comes with 16GB of DDR4 RAM and 1TB of NVMe SSD storage. Now one thing to take note of if you are deciding to buy this laptop is that the RAM, all 16GB of this RAM is actually soldered on, alright? So you're not going to be able to upgrade it later on. Now this comes with Intel's latest Xe graphics integrated together with that Intel i7. Now in terms of battery, it sort of depends on which model you buy. So the LG Gram 14 comes with a 72 Wh battery. The LG Gram 16 and 17 comes with an 80 Wh battery. Now LG actually boasts about 22 hours of battery life. I don't know what settings they were on. I don't know how they got that number. For me, I got about 10.5, so I don't know where the 22 hours came from. Now in terms of I/O, I'm actually quite impressed. They've done a pretty good job here. So they've got a full-size HDMI. I'm not sure which version of HDMI it is. You've got two USB Type-Cs, specifically Type-C 4.0 Gen 3. Now you also get an audio combo jack on the left, but on the right you get two USB Type-A ports, specifically USB 3.2 Gen 2, and you also get a micro SD card slot. Now I actually quite like the fact that you've got a micro SD card slot there, but to be honest, I kind of wish it was a full SD card slot because this has made it a bit inflexible. If you had an SD card slot, you can still put in a micro SD card slot with an adapter, but if it's a micro SD card slot, it doesn't work the other way around. Now you see the Intel Evo sticker over there. Now I'm not going to go too much in detail about that, but basically Intel Evo is sort of like a certification given by Intel to laptop manufacturers who meet a very strict set of requirements. Now if you want to find out more about Intel Evo, I'll put a link to their website in the description below. Now in terms of design, I have to say LG kind of nailed it. Now arguably it's a little plain and simple, but honestly I think it's plain and simple in the best way possible. Quality of the material, I'm guessing it's an aluminum. It feels really nice. Build quality is pretty good, although I will say the laptop screen has a little bit too much flex than I'm comfortable with, but overall really good. It's also crazy light. I think it's only like 1.2 kilograms. It is so light, it's very easy to forget that this is a 16-inch laptop. Now it's also really silent, and I don't see a lot of very aggressive cooling. I don't hear a lot of fans. Now I suspect that a lot of the cooling has got to do with the feet at the bottom of the laptop. Now it has some of the thickest laptop feet I've ever seen that wasn't pasted on like aftermarket. Now it's thicker on the back than on the front, so I'm guessing that plays a really big part in cooling the laptop. Now one really nice feature is actually the power button. So the power button is over here along with the keyboard. Now it's flush with the body of the laptop, so you don't like mistake it for one of the keys on the keyboard. Now what I really like about it is that when you press the power button to boot up the laptop, when you press it, it stores your fingerprint. So yes, there's also a fingerprint reader, but it stores your fingerprint for login after once Windows is boot up. I think that's a really nice feature. But of course, once you put the laptop to sleep, or if you close the laptop and then you want to wake the laptop by lifting up the lid, you're gonna have to scan your fingerprint. Now, two things I actually really love about this keyboard. Number one, which is not that big a deal, is the font that they chose for the keys. Now I'm not going to say too much about it, but yeah, I really like the design. It helps with the overall aesthetic of the laptop. And the other thing is the travel on the keys. It is really surprising. Now again, apart from being super light, this laptop for 16 inches is also super thin, and the fact that they managed to get a keyboard on this laptop that has this much travel on a laptop this thin, I'm not quite sure how they did it, but well done, LG. And it doesn't end there, right? This trackpad, I absolutely love. It is easily one of the top, most comfortable and most enjoyable trackpads I've used on any laptop. First of all, it's really big. I like the fact that the laptop trackpad is really big. There are a lot of laptops that I've tested where I found the trackpad too small. This one is the perfect size for me. It's really smooth. I really enjoy it. Things like zooming in, zooming out was an absolute breeze. And again, really good job, LG. Now with the screen over here, like I mentioned, this is a Quad HD screen and it's an IPS panel, by the way. So this has a resolution of 2560 by 1600 because of that 16:10 aspect ratio. Now I actually thought that the screen on this would kind of be an afterthought, and I was really taken aback. Even in the unboxing video, I was really surprised by the quality of the screen, and again, after using it for a long time, I'm still really impressed. First of all, watching shows on this laptop is an absolute joy, and I think a big part of it is because it's got a glossy finish, not a matte one like a lot of other laptops. And I think having a glossy screen plays a big part in the colors really popping. It was really nice, colors are really vibrant, and overall a really good experience. And also, this has a DCI-P3 coverage of 99%. So I'm very confident that you could do some color sensitive work, even some light video editing. Now, it's not without its drawbacks, right? So there are a couple of things. One is I find the screen doesn't get very bright. I couldn't get the actual numbers, even from the LG website, but my guess is definitely not more than 300 nits. It's actually quite dim in daylight. But also, because of that glossy screen, if you want to use this laptop outside in a cafe or whatever, you're gonna have to be a bit tactical of where you sit because this screen reflects anything. Now, in terms of gaming, this is going to be a surprise to no one, right? That this laptop isn't really built for gaming. However, having said that, I'm still a little disappointed by the performance of the Intel Xe graphics in here. Intel has been hyping it for a while, and I understand that there are probably different tiers of performance, but the one on this is a bit of a disappointment. First of all, even less graphic intensive games like CSGO would only run well on medium, and even then, I say well in terms of FPS, it still stuttered quite a fair bit. And even games like Dota 2, on medium settings, I will still get about 30 FPS, but that's not the worst part. I tried to test out, Shadow the Tomb Raider, it wouldn't even run. I updated everything, the graphics drivers, all the drivers, it still wouldn't run, it wouldn't even boot. Now, I'm not quite sure why that is. It could just be, it needs some time for drivers to update, but honestly, even after that, I'm not going to hold my breath in terms of performance. Now, I think a big reason for the lack of performance has got to do with the resolution of the screen. Now, like I said, Quad HD, right? So that's going to drive the Intel Xe graphics quite a fair bit, a lot more if it was just Full HD. However, having said that, LG definitely went the right way with going for Quad HD instead of Full HD, because a Full HD screen would not look great on a screen this size. But I have to say, where the LG Gram 16 shines is really for like work and productivity. It was an absolute dream. Now, like a lot of you, I've used a ton of different laptops in my time for work or productivity or whatnot. Now, compared to every single laptop that I've used, this has definitely and easily been one of the most enjoyable. Now, it also has a webcam on top of the screen, but this is a very subpar 720p webcam. It's not really that great. And what kind of makes it worse is the fact that because this screen is so thin and it's so flexible, you can't really put a big webcam on. So if you do want to use a different webcam, make sure that it's not too heavy. Now, everything from the 16:10 aspect ratio and the quality of the screen to the wonderful keyboard, the excellent trackpad, this entire combination has made this my favorite laptop for work, beating what was previously my first, which was the Asus B9450. Alright, so let's talk about the price. So the LG Gram 16 with this specific configuration comes in at about $1,699 US, or about 2,299 Singapore dollars. Now, in my opinion, the LG Gram 16 is almost the perfect productivity laptop. Everything from the screen to the keyboard to the trackpad, like I said before, made it my absolute favorite. I do hope in the future, if they come up with a new model, that they do improve on the webcam. I think it needs to be 1080p at least. I also hope that they increase the screen brightness, and I think they need to work on getting the screen to be a little bit more rigid. But like I said, the LG Gram 16 is almost perfect, so it is going to get a 4 out of 5 stars and a Technobabble recommended logo. Alright, so that about wraps up my review of the LG Gram 16. Now, if you like this video, you know what to do, and I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications on our next video. I'm JP, and I'll see you real soon.